Installing Proxmox is the easy part. Putting all your VM disks on local storage is just reinventing the same problem with better screenshots. Those aren't virtual machines, they're hostages. I've spent a truly unreasonable amount of time turning good enough into why did I build it this way in the first place? You're watching Fast How To, and today we're fixing one of the more important parts of my smart home. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an NFS share on TrueNAS, mount it in Proxmox, and separate your VM storage from the hypervisor so that your virtual machines stop being trapped on one box. Until you do that, high availability, migration, and all the other interesting bits are still off the table. Even if you're using a different NAS, this video will still be valuable to you. Check the documentation for your specific NAS, but just about everything on the market these days can do NFS right out of the box. Even my previous NAS, which I purchased in like 2011 or 2012, that could do both iSCSI and NFS. You do have a NAS, right? If not, I've already made several videos about what a NAS is, why you want one, the hardware I chose, how I assembled it, and how to install TrueNAS. Feel free to give those a watch after this video for more background info. In the last video, I showed you why I virtualized my smart home and how to get Proxmox installed. That gave us a hypervisor. It did not solve the bigger issue. If the VM disks live on the same physical box as the hypervisor, that box is still the problem. Local storage is fine for testing. It's fine for learning. It's fine right up until the point that you want your VMs to survive the host that they're running on. If the disk is local to the host, then so is the VM, and if the host goes belly up, so does your weekend. Shared storage is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of the VM disks being stored on a hard drive or an SSD inside of one Proxmox node, that storage lives somewhere that multiple nodes can reach. In my setup, that somewhere is TrueNAS, and the protocol that I'm using is Network File System, or NFS. Could you do this with iSCSI? Yes. Could you spend the next several hours making your life far more complicated than it needs to be? Also yes. For this application, NFS is easier, cleaner, and more than good enough. I chose NFS because it gives me file-level storage on TrueNAS, which fits the way that I want to manage snapshots and replication. TrueNAS can see the dataset directly, snapshot it directly, and replicate it directly. That makes it a lot easier to see what you've got and protect it properly without playing guessing games. iSCSI gives you block-level storage instead. When you have block-level storage, you've graduated from a NAS to a SAN, or a storage area network. That can absolutely make sense in the right environment. But for this environment, it adds complexity that I don't actually need. I'm not trying to build a SAN so that I can flex on the internet. I don't need to learn about SANs. I've played with enough fiber channel and iSCSI at my day job to know where it's useful and where it's overkill. In my house, iSCSI is an additional level of complexity that just isn't necessary. What I'm building is shared VM storage that is predictable, supportable, and sane enough that I still like myself at the end of the day. So here's what we're doing. We're going to build a share on TrueNAS, we're going to mount it in Proxmox, and then we're going to make sure Proxmox is actually using it the way that we want. No cluster yet, no migration yet, no high availability yet. That payoff comes in the next video where we add another node to our Proxmox setup. Start on TrueNAS. Create a dataset for your Proxmox storage if you haven't done that already. Give it a useful name. Do not call it stuff. You're building infrastructure, not hiding Christmas decorations in the basement. The important part is knowing what this storage is for. This is not general file storage. This is not your media share. This is not the place to throw random backups, ISOs, and half-finished nonsense because there was some space left over. This is virtual machine storage. Treat it like it matters. The dataset from my NFS export is actually in a separate pool on SSD instead of on spinning Rust. VM storage has a specific job. It has different performance expectations, different snapshot implications, and different management needs than a general file share. Once you start treating everything like just some storage, you eventually end up with a mess that future you gets to clean up. Now, create an NFS share for that dataset. Point it at the dataset that you just made. Then enable the NFS service. And yes, if you forget to start the service, Proxmox will absolutely behave like this is somehow your fault. Because it is. This is also the part where permissions and export settings matter. Before I show you how my permissions are configured, I need to tell you that I am not a TrueNAS expert. If you are a TrueNAS expert, please go ahead and roast me in the comments for probably configuring these permissions wrong. You know what though? It's my house. I'm not storing corporate trade secrets and HR files for tens of thousands of employees. These settings work, so I am perfectly happy with them. Not to mention that my NFS network is segmented from the rest of my network traffic, so in order to actually get at this data, you would have to physically plug into that switch. So if Proxmox can see the share but can't actually use it, come back here first. That will save you a lot of creative swearing later. Most of the time, the problem is one of a few boring things. The NFS service isn't actually running. The export path is wrong. The Proxmox host can't reach the storage IP that you gave it. Or the export settings and permissions don't line up with what Proxmox is trying to do. Storage has very little patience for wishful thinking. So a little more depth about networking, just a little. In my setup, NFS traffic gets its own dedicated interface on the hosts and a dedicated VLAN on my switches. If you don't have the extra port, a dedicated VLAN riding a shared uplink on the host can also be completely valid. It just depends on your needs. The point is separation, not just to copy paste what I built. If you're not sure which one makes sense for your setup, don't just start clicking things and hope for the best. I've got a video coming later in the series where I'll go deeper into networking, traffic separation, and how to make those decisions before you paint yourself into an uncomfortable corner.
Quick detour. If this series is useful to you and you want to support the channel, that's the least annoying way to do it. Patrons get early access to videos with no ads, downloadable code and configs, and all the smart home challenges and questionable architectural decisions that don't quite make it into the final edit because I'm trying to keep these videos under 3 hours long. It's optional, but appreciated. All right, back to it.
Over in Proxmox, go to Data Center, then Storage, then Add, then NFS. Give it a name. Again, something useful. You're creating a platform now that all your future VMs will be stored on. Try not to name things like you're setting up a guest Wi-Fi network in 2011. No CIA mainframe or FBI surveillance van, okay? Point it at your TrueNAS server, select the export. Choose the content types that you want to store. This part matters more than people think. Proxmox lets you decide what kinds of content are going to live on this storage. VM disks, ISOs, backups. Just because Proxmox can store all kinds of things there doesn't mean you should dump everything into one share and call it architecture. Decide what this share is for. Then let it do that job and do it well. For this share, what I care about first is VM storage. That's the whole reason we're here. I use separate data stores for my VM disks and for my ISOs, and we'll get to the backup data store in a future video when I cover backups. If everything is configured correctly, the data store should show up immediately. If it doesn't, that's not Proxmox being mysterious. That is your config being wrong. At this point, Proxmox should be able to use the share. And now your VM disks no longer have to live inside of one host. This is really the point. This doesn't just mount a share. It changes what your infrastructure is capable of. At this point, the VM is no longer married to one host's local disk. Now, this does not magically give us clustering yet. It does not give us migration yet. But it gives us the prerequisite for those things. That is exactly why this step matters. This is where things start getting interesting. Once storage is shared, compute becomes movable. Not today, but now we are close. A VM stored locally is tied to that one box. A VM stored on shared storage can be powered on somewhere else. That's the difference. And that difference is what makes clustering worth doing. Now, if you're running one Proxmox machine and you never plan to add another, you might be wondering whether this is worth it. Fair question. The answer is maybe not yet. But if there's even a chance that you'll expand later, doing shared storage now will help make that transition a lot easier. If you'd rather leave them local until you get a second node, that's perfectly fine. Proxmox has the ability to relocate VM storage for you. Just click the VM, then hardware, then click the hard disk, and then on the disk action dropdown, choose Move Disk and choose the new target storage location. Easy peasy. So today, we did 3 things. We created an NFS share on TrueNAS, we mounted it in Proxmox, and we separated VM storage from the hypervisor. That last part is the one that really matters. While you're down there doing all the regular YouTube rituals, I've got a viewer survey linked in the video description. Tell me what matters in your smart home, what kind of gear you're running, what problems you're trying to solve, and whatever feedback you've got for the channel. There's also an Ask Me Anything section, which is your opportunity to hand me future problems in a mostly organized format. In the next video, we take this a step further. Now that storage is shared, we can stop pretending these Proxmox nodes are isolated little islands, and we can turn them into a cluster. That's where this starts paying off. Local storage is convenient. Shared storage is a strategy. And remember, once other people care if it breaks, convenience stops being enough.